A whole lot of people out there feel exactly like me. You can't trust nothing and nobody no more. Your neighbors, your friends, your family, your school, your church, your job, the president, the government. Nothing is trustworthy anymore. Even relationships. It got to the point where you're comfortable being alone. Because you know the moment you step out of that zone, somebody's gonna do something to fuck you over in some kind of way. And it's a messed up thing, because when we need each other the most right now, we're going through devastation, whether many people want to accept that or not. We can't even come together enough to actually make something happen. Why? Because we don't trust the person next to us. And many of the people, and this is sad, many of these people will sit there with you and say, yeah, let's do it. But all along, they talking to other people like, oh, they ain't gonna never make nothing happen. Oh, you know what? We're gonna crush their dreams anyway. Our world is, and you wonder why it's so easy for the government to do what they're doing to us, the elite, to just say to hell with us? Because we said it about one another ourselves. I don't know what's going to happen next.
They thought that by isolating you, you were going to fall into a deep depression and take yourself out. Not to dinner, but out this world. But little did they know, you were secretly praying to the Most High that they never call you, because you knew what they were about. And you knew that by giving them your time and energy, they're going to hold you back in the Stone Ages with them. These are ignorant people. These are people who think highly of themselves because they know how to use an iPhone. That's how it was designed. That's all they know. And they think they're advanced because they know how to use an iPhone. Or they know how to use a remote control. These people hated the fact that you were a problem solver, that you were strong, that you were resilient, that you didn't let them get to you. They thought, we won't invite him or her to a wedding or to our homes, quote unquote, or to dinner or to an event. We'll make them feel bad. But little did they know, that's exactly what you wanted. Because if you wanted to be in their presence, you would have just showed up to their homes, quote unquote. And I say quote unquote because they didn't have homes. They had places they were living in, and it was a broken environment. It was an environment devoid of wisdom, of happiness, of joy, of love. You had all of that. That's why they didn't like you. But you were elevating. You elevated so much through learning that you're not only years ahead of these people, you are not only decades ahead of these people, you are at least 10 lifetimes ahead of these people. And I'm going to explain why. All those books you read and all those videos you watched and all those people you got knowledge from and wisdom from, you had the Most High with you. And what that means is he enabled you to dissect all of that knowledge and not only understand it on a very deep esoteric level, but you were able to form new knowledge. And some of you have knowledge and information the whole world doesn't even have yet. And those are gifts the Most High gave you. And he asked you specifically, do not share these gifts with anybody. They're for you. Even when you were going through the worst times of your life, they laughed behind your back and they said, can you believe such and such still believes in the Most High? They were laughing at you. Who's laughing now? They can never come near you when it comes to you being the total package. They can never even dream of being in the same space with you mentally. When you speak, their jaws drop. They cannot believe who they're listening to now. You see, because while you were learning in silence. You were moving in silence. You were making other moves in silence that people don't even know about. I'm talking to some people out there. And because you stayed to yourself, they thought you were mentally challenged. No, you just didn't want to share these gems with them. You don't want to share these gifts with them. because your intuition told you not to. But now you're speaking up. You're speaking out. You're more open. You're more confident. And they are fuming and they can't stand it. Let me tell you what it's like for them. It's like they're on the 100th floor of a skyscraper that's burning. And every floor beneath them is burning and there's no way they can go downstairs. They're stuck. They're stuck. And now, every time they open their phone, they see you. They block you and you somehow still show up. They leave this app and they see you on another app. They see people showing you love and they're infuriated. They want fame and you don't even give a fuck about it. You don't even look for it. And let these people keep watching you. Let them. Let them. You know, you have a couple of people, more than a couple of people, that will think about you till the day they die and wonder how stupid they were to fumble you. They're going to have friends and family making fun of them for years to come for fumbling you. They're going to have immediate family members cussing them out, laughing at them, and telling them what a moron they are for fumbling you. Some of these people, you know what they said when you left them? Oh, he or she will be back. So confident. Oh, he or she will be back in a week. Then they had a close relative say, no, give that person 2 weeks. A week is too soon. Then a month passed, no show. 6 months, a year, years passed, still no show. Can you believe some of these ones still have this false hope that you're going to return? They think you're so kind that you're just going to forget things. You and I will never forget. We forgave. And we prayed for them. But we are their karma. We are their karma. They didn't believe in karma. Now every time, listen, if they go and get the Apple Vision Pro, they're going to see you on that shit too. And if whatever else they fucking create from now until the end of time, they're going to see you on every fucking device. Even if they put a fucking chip in your head, they're going to see you in that chip in your head. Take care, guys.
I don't think people understand how peaceful it is to be isolated from people. When you isolate yourself from people, you will understand how, number one, like I said, it's very peaceful. And number two, you just don't deal with the bullshit anymore. Like, you will understand, like, as you start to separate yourself from people, you'll start to realize how just stress-free you are. When you learn to be by yourself, you literally have nothing to worry about besides yourself. You don't have to worry about no drama with anybody else. You don't have to worry about no bullshit that's coming from such and such. It's literally just you, bro. And the best thing about learning to be by yourself, when I tell you literally nobody knows about you, I mean literally nobody knows anything about you. Nobody's gonna be in your business unless you let them be in your business. I don't think people understand how peaceful it is to be isolated from people. When you isolate yourself from people, you will understand how, number one, like I said, it's very peaceful. And number two, you just don't deal with the bullshit anymore. Like, you will understand, like, as you start to separate yourself from people, you'll start to realize how just stress-free you are. When you learn to be by yourself, you literally have nothing to worry about besides yourself. You don't have to worry about no drama with anybody else. You don't have to worry about no bullshit that's coming from such and such. It's literally just you, bro. And the best thing about learning to be by yourself, when I tell you literally nobody knows about you, I mean literally nobody knows anything about you. Nobody's gonna be in your business unless you let them be in your business.
Someone said when you don't bother people, it bothers people. Y'all believe that? If you don't bother anybody, if you're to yourself, you stick to yourself, you're isolated, you detach yourself from the world, from people, you don't interact, you don't like to socialize, that bothers people. That makes people mad, because they always wonder, like, why is he talking to us? Why isn't she talking to us? What's wrong with us? She too good? He's too good? I never understand that. Why can't people just be quiet? Why can't people just be in their own world? Why can't people just isolate themselves without having any, like, issues with other people? it's never an ego thing. Some people just don't like to socialize and interact. They just like to chill, be in their own world. I know I've been there in that position. Like, I don't feel like talking to anybody. I don't feel like interacting. Like, I'm chilling right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't think other people should get offended because, you know, you don't want to conversate. You don't want to talk. Right? That's just crazy to me. Like,
I'll probably say this for a lot of people who think this way, but a lot of people who don't say this shit out loud. You don't be depressed or nothing like that, gang, but sometimes, like, you just want to be isolated and be left the fuck alone. It be days, bro, where you just want to kick it by yourself, and, like, I don't think a lot of people understand that. Bro, niggas already got to deal with life by itself, bro. Life be so fucking much sometimes, bro, and most of the time you don't want to take your anger out on your loved ones. You don't really want to be taking your anger out on your loved ones because they ain't do shit to you or they ain't say nothing to you out the way. But the fact that you going through so much shit, bro, and you can't express yourself is already enough. Sometimes you be by yourself, bro, wondering, like, why the fuck am I existing? Like, why am I really here? What am I here for? Never take your anger out on the people who you love, because at the end of the day, you can always go to them about certain shit. Well, you'll be surprised on how many niggas who really thinking like you, bro, but the whole time they don't really know how to express themselves.
You get to a point in your life where you want to choose your peace over everything. And I used to think that isolation was a bad thing, you know, but you could be isolating to better yourself, to make a better difference in your life. And the more and more older you get, you start to realize that you don't want to be around those toxic situations anymore. You want something different. So millions are choosing to isolate themselves, and it's not for a bad cause. It's to gain some peace in their life. They don't want to deal with these same bad situations that put them in bad predicaments, or they're starting to realize that nothing seems real. Friendships, situations, they don't want to do overtime at their job no more. They're just mentally burnt out, and they gotta just refresh their energy some way, somehow. They have to recuperate themselves. And that's the only way they can do it. I'm starting to see a lot of people around the world going out in nature, just being so peaceful, because with the economy collapsing and America collapsing, you gotta find a way to just somehow still push through it, get through the day. And a lot of people need to hear this, because it's gonna be times in this world where you're gonna be feeling down. People are not perfect. And I know you got some people that act like they're perfect. They're always trying to validate themselves, keep up with a facade. But in reality, it really doesn't mean nothing at the end of the day. And that's the scary part. But like I was saying, the more and more I start realizing that sometimes you need to just be alone to just handle business, because sometimes when you just help others, or sometimes you just show up for others like they wouldn't show up for you, you start to realize that they don't have your back like how you got their back. So just in general. So you start to value your time. You start to value your presence more. And there's nothing wrong with that, because you're evolving. You're trying to figure things out in life. And due to these high prices, you got to figure something out. And times it's just getting worse. Nothing is getting better. The economy is collapsing. So sometimes you need to sit back and just enjoy your peace sometimes. And there's always going to be a problem. You know why? Because it's always going to be somebody that you've been dealing with in the past, a friend, or anybody that's going to try to come back and disturb your peace, Don't let nobody disturb your peace. That's how it always be. People will always try to come back and inconvenience your life, but live theirs to the fullest. They won't let you inconvenience their life, but they want to come back and inconvenience yours. So with that being said, like I always say, you gotta live life. And it's okay to be upset. It's okay to vent. Sometimes you just gotta let it out. Sometimes isolation is the best solution. And millions are choosing isolation over everything. That's why they losing interest, because the same things that they used to enjoy, they don't enjoy no more. And I know times are sad, and it's to the point that nothing makes sense. And it would just drive you crazy trying to figure out everything. It's too much time to figure out everything. And the crazy thing about that is that, notice what I said, it takes too much time to figure out everything because you always in your emotions. And time is the most valuable currency. We don't spend our time wisely, and you can't get that back. So start realizing that isolation is a good way to spend your time. You ain't got to deal with the headaches, none of that, because you can think in peace. Sometimes you really can't even think. You got this over here, your job right there, your job right there, your job right there, your job everywhere, if you get what I'm trying to say. And then here come your bills. They like this. But sometimes you just got to push all that stuff to the side. You'll get to that whenever you get to that. And just try it. If you haven't isolated yourself, just try it. Don't stress yourself out no more. Because you really have to take it a day at a time. And once you just stop worrying about everything, you'll be at so much peace because you knew how to isolate yourself. And I think that's good for people, because the more and more you isolate yourself, you don't have to isolate yourself all the time, but it's refreshing. So if you've been feeling like this and you can understand where I'm coming from, let me know in the comments. Feel free to express yourself. And that's my take on the situation. And I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Peace.